building an overall payment and banking strategy cannot start early enough. And why I'm saying that? Because I have seen a lot of times when startups are trying to go to their high street banks just to get their rejection. Why? Because startups are usually broke. They change their activities on a daily basis. Their team is really volatile. And also, they don't really have volume. So if I'm a bank and I'm supporting a startup company, I can only charge them a percentage on their volume, but whatever percentage on the zero is still going to be zero. So I don't really trust them. I don't really know them. So why do I want to be the first one who is giving them a chance? Well, that's the problem when you are a startup. But also, if you're building an overall payment and banking strategy, you need to always think about the future. I know everybody is rushing and get the minimum viable product out. But what happens if you strike gold and all of a sudden like 100,000 people are on your website trying to pay you, click, 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 and the system collapses? You need to find something which is scalable, but cheap enough, but works, but you can rely on it, and it's safe enough that they don't disappear with your money. We had a client who just built a minimum viable product and went out on the market with that. And unfortunately, they had rejection after rejection after rejection. And the investors got really, really upset after 6 months that, hey guys, we invested a lot of money in you. When are you going to start? So they onboarded with a bank from an area that no one really actually heard of. And as you can imagine, their money not only got stuck, but a large sum of money got also disappeared. And as a compensation, they got a check whereby the owner of the company had to actually fly there to that country. And they were asking me, Victoria, what are we going to do with this check? How are we going to, put this check in a different bank account? So you don't really think about these problems before these problems actually become the reality. And that's exactly why you need someone who thinks upfront for you. And this is usually the chief payment officer. When we are talking about the chief payment officer, it's not only good to use their services when you're a startup, but also when you're a scale-up and definitely when you're a huge company. When you're a big company, no one really wants to put on the hat and take the responsibility that, yes, this is my responsibility to make decision on a compliance, on a risk, on a fees, on technology. So that has to be a forced seniority, which is put in the same room than other decision makers and call out all of those problems that no one really pays attention to. When we're talking about scale-ups, it is exactly the same story. You're just coming from a startup phase, you're turning into a large company. So usually at the scale-up phase, we are seeing the same problem. The responsibilities are not really clear. There are a lot of decisions which are falling through the cracks, and most probably someone is dealing with this payment and banking flows, but it could be either a random product manager, it could be the chief financial officer who just read something somewhere and tried to give it a go, or it could be even a chief of compliance. I have seen so many times that a head of legal says that, all right, now I'm going to put things in perspective, but they don't really have any kind of technological experience. So that's what we say, that you really need to have some senior figure who is sitting in the boardroom and making the relevant decisions. And unfortunately, today, whoever is making decisions on payments and banking is not trained. So if you think about it, there's no training. Your money is being managed on a gut feeling, on a guesswork. And that's why you need to put things in perspective and understand the importance on your payment and banking flows.